What's up everyone, my name is Marie, welcome to my channel and welcome to another speed build. So today I'm sharing with you my second build with the Werewolves pack. This time it's a little bit of a bigger house, as you can probably tell by the length of this video as well. It is a werewolf family home and I built it on this one empty lot in the world of Moonwood Mill. So yeah, there's only one actual empty lot in the world by default, and that is where I decided to build this house because I don't know, this is the one and only empty lot, so I felt like I needed to build something here. And I also just feel really bad deleting the builds that are already in the world because they're so good. If you didn't know, they were built by James Turner and he's just an incredible builder, and I just really love the lots that he did for this world. I obviously did delete his little starter home in order to build my little werewolves cabin that I did for my first video with this pack. So I did already delete one of them, but for this one I actually decided to build a house on the one and only empty lot in this world, and that also gives you something to place on that lot. If you don't want to build something yourself, then you can just go ahead and download this one and place it there and have the lot be filled up in that sense. But yeah, as you can see, this build is a lot bigger than the first one, and I turned it into a werewolves family home. It is a quite large lot. I think this is a 30 by 30 if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong there, but I think it's a 30 by 30. So yeah, it was a little bit of a larger space to work with, which sometimes kind of intimidates me in a way. But for this one, I was actually very excited because I had a specific style in mind that I wanted to go for. Obviously something that ties right in with the whole like style of Moonwood Mill itself. So yeah, something quite rustic, but also industrial, something that is very much, well, not very much, but definitely a little bit broken down and worn and not the prettiest. And I just have so much fun building in this style. I love it so much. So I'm building this farmhouse type build. It is a mixture of wood paneling, but then also some brick parts to the house, which I thought was a fun combination of things, and I just think it looks very nice. I don't know how realistic it is. I feel like a house like this would probably be completely made out of paneling or out of brick, but maybe not a combination of the two. However, I went for a combination because we did get a new brick as well as a new wooden paneling type thing in this pack, so I really wanted to use both of them. And then I also played around with different roof textures. As you can see, I used that weatherboard, is that what you can call it, for some parts of the roof, and I used that swatch that has the, as they call it, accidental skylights in them, and they're just so good. So I used that on this house. Again, I did that for my my first build as well, but I just really love that roof texture. I feel like it's so unique and so special. So yeah, I went crazy with that, and here you can really see the shape of the house come together. Basically, it was just a lot of trial and error. I got started with a little reference photo that I found on Pinterest of something that I really liked. However, after a couple minutes already, I kind of figured that it wasn't really gonna work. It wasn't really gonna look as good as I wanted it to, so I let go of that kind of immediately and then just started doing my own thing. So it was definitely a lot of trial and error and just adding boxes to the house and taking away little pieces and adding something new. So yeah, I was a lot of fiddling around, but I really like how the shape of this house came together. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like this might be my favorite build that I have done in a while. It probably also has something to do with the fact that it's in a new world. I used a ton of new items because we have a new pack, so that makes everything a lot more fun quite easily, but still, I feel like the whole shape of the house is so much fun, and I love how the floor plan came together as well. It's a very large and spacious house. It was definitely giving me farmhouse vibes, so I definitely felt like this used to be an abandoned little farmhouse. So I was thinking that before Moonwood Mill was abandoned, a whole lot of like regular families used to live here, like non-occult, non-werewolf families used to live in this little town, in this little industrial kind of town. But then as soon as the werewolves started showing up, everyone kind of just left their homes, abandoned the town, and moved away. And I was definitely thinking that this was one of those abandoned family farmhouse type situations of like a Moonwood Mill family that used to work here in the town, around the town. But yeah, they obviously abandoned their home because werewolves started showing up, and they weren't for that. So they just decided to pack their things and move away and abandon their house. And so this house has been here for a while. It's been abandoned for a while, and no one really looked after it. And then one day, a werewolf family showed up and kind of claimed this house as their own. And I thought that that was really cute. So as much as it looks very much broken down and not the prettiest in that sense, I did try and make it very cozy and homey and cutesy at the same time. I just loved playing around with those two elements, if you will. So that is really what I tried to do. So I built this for a young family. I actually also made the family in CreateASim and uploaded them to the gallery. Because I did build this for my save file. I do intend to build or place this house with the family in my save file so that all the lots are filled up and just good to go. In this world, that is. So yeah, I did make the family, and yeah, I created a dad. Everyone is a werewolf in this family, by the way. So we have a dad, a mom, a toddler who's a little boy, and then a child who's a little girl. And I also placed a crib in the parents' bedroom. So I'm definitely thinking that the mom, she is pregnant right now as well. I have not set that up yet in my save file, so I still have to do that. But I think that she might be pregnant, or they're planning on having another baby and they just have the crib all set up and ready to go in their bedroom. But yeah, that's definitely what I was thinking. So a pretty cute little family, a werewolf family. And I was thinking that they're part of the, what's that pack called? The Moonwood Collective, I believe, the more wholesome, cute werewolf pack, as opposed to the, I think they're called the Wild Fangs. They are a little bit more rebellious and maybe not the nicest people. They're not part of that pack. They're part of the Moonwood Collective. They're a little bit more cutesy and wholesome. And I don't know if kids can become part of a pack. I don't think they can, but if they could, then I feel like their daughter would definitely be part of it already as well. And yeah, just play around with the other werewolf kids. And then for the parents, something I haven't quite figured out yet in my mind, like storyline wise, is what would these werewolves do for their jobs? I know in The Sims with the whole gameplay thing, you can just give them regular jobs, but I feel like that kind of takes away from the magic of the whole werewolf thing and living in Moonwood Mill and being kind of cut off from the rest of the world intentionally, but still. So I feel like giving them a regular job, I don't know, that just doesn't really vibe with me with the whole werewolf thing. So I don't know what you guys think about that, but I just don't really like that idea. So I don't really know what sort of things they would do to earn money. Maybe the mom, I don't know, teaches the werewolf kids about the moon, about being a werewolf, about scavenging. I don't really know. Maybe they teach them like werewolf skills and whatnot. And then the dad, I don't know. I feel like they also do a little bit of farming, because I did place a lot of planter boxes around this house. I did definitely want to give it that sort of farmhousey vibe. So yeah, that's why I placed a whole bunch of planter boxes around. So they're pretty much self-sufficient in that sense, is what I was thinking. I was also thinking of placing some of the generators and stuff from the Eco Lifestyle pack, and like windmills and stuff, but the lot kind of filled up pretty quickly, so I didn't really have a whole lot of space left over, so I decided not to do that. But you could always do that and add to the storyline of this family being self-sufficient, providing their own electricity and stuff like that, their own power. So that is something that you could definitely do. I was still thinking that they're self-sufficient anyway. I just didn't really place the items for that. That's just something, a storyline detail that I had in mind, if that makes any sense. But I do feel like they do a lot of gardening. So I placed a whole bunch of planter boxes around. So they have their own harvestables, their own crops and stuff. And they probably also sell a whole bunch of those as well. So they make money that way as well. And then I also feel like they're just not the richest family. I mean, they don't have to be. They have this abandoned house that they turned into their own home. They don't really need a lot of money. I mean, bill wise, I don't actually know, like actual gameplay wise, how much the bills for this house are going to be, because the house is very big, but then at the same time, I used a lot of cheaper materials and cheaper items in it and barely any electronics. I placed the tiniest little TV from the Eco Lifestyle pack, the one that you can find in the dumpster. And then I also placed a very cheap stereo so that they at least had like some sort of radio. But then that is basically it. And then I did also, we do have 2 bathrooms as well, but with very cheap plumbing as well. So I don't know, I feel like the bills for this house wouldn't be that expensive in the game, like in the actual game when you're doing actual gameplay. So I feel like that might be fun as well. But here you can see I'm really playing around with the landscaping. I really wanted to make this house look very much abandoned, but then patched up kind of in a way when this family moved in. So it's definitely still a little bit messy and overgrown, but it is definitely lived in as well. It's definitely quite cute at the same time, which I really like. So we do have some trash around the place, just a little bit. We have like a broken down car with some trash like littered around the place, and then there's some more like trash on the floor by the fence. So yeah, it's definitely not the cleanest lot, but they did clean it up for the most part to at least make it livable, if that makes sense. So they definitely cleaned it up, but there is some trash around still. But yeah, I just really like the look of that. I also gave them a little shed, and I actually turned that into their own personal little werewolf hangout, if that makes sense. I gave them a little home gym, which I feel like is a very werewolfy kind of thing. I don't know why, but that's just what it feels like to me. So we also got some very cute looking broken down gym equipment, so that might contribute to the fact that I feel like that is a werewolfy thing to have. So yeah, I gave them their own gym equipment and stuff. And then since that barn or like shed is quite big, I also gave them their own bar so they can invite their werewolf friends over and just have a little, I don't know, party in their shed when the kids are asleep, something like that. I felt like that would be cute. So I definitely do feel like this family contributes a lot to the Moonwood Mill community, like to the werewolf community, basically. They are friends with pretty much everyone in the neighborhood from both the packs. They really try and be friendly to the Wildfangs as well. Though something I recently figured out is that the Wildfangs pack leader is actually a kid of the Moonwood Collective pack leader, and that is quite a bit of tea. I feel like that is very interesting. So I feel like naturally the werewolves from either packs don't really get along too well. I feel like that is the storyline there. However, I feel like the Sims, like the parents in this family, they really try and bring everyone together. That is kind of their mission, to make Moonwood Mill the most peaceful place to live for all the werewolves and just make it a safe place for the kids as well. And then at the same time, they're still werewolves though. So they do get into fights and like they rampage from time to time. So they're quite rough people as well, but I mean that just kind of comes with being a werewolf, I feel like. But yeah, here you can see we're kind of moving on to the interior of the house. Now this is not a limited pack build. For my first build, I actually did only base game and werewolves so that I could really focus on the stuff that came with the pack. But for this one, I really wanted to try and combine it with different packs as well. So it is not a limited pack build by any means. I used a lot of packs for this one. Kind of tried to make a lot of stuff like work together from different packs, and I feel like this werewolves pack ties in perfectly with the more broken down stuff from Eco Lifestyle. I just love how that combines together. And then also some of the stuff from what's it called, City Living, for the more like broken down little grosser apartments, if that makes sense. You can see that I used the wallpaper from that pack throughout this whole house, the more like grungy looking wallpaper. It was just so perfect. And I really missed this one with my limited pack werewolves build. I just knew that I wanted to use this. And then I also used the more grungy looking counters from City Living, which are actually exactly the same as the base game ones, except they're a little bit more grungy looking and chipped and a little bit broken here and there. And that was just perfect for this house as well. So yeah, I just really enjoyed combining all the packs together and then at the same time making it a more like wholesome looking family home as well. But you can see that I definitely overused those sheet curtains they're just so perfect. I use them throughout the whole house. I think I only used a couple of actual curtains from the base game in this build, and for the rest I just placed those sheets everywhere because they're so good and they're so useful and they make so much sense for a house like this. I also placed this tiny little fireplace from Eco Lifestyle, which I just thought was really, really perfect for this house. And I also placed some kids stuff around the place as well to really make it look like this family has kids, which they do. They have a kid and a toddler and then a baby on the way as well. So yeah, quite a, well, not necessarily a large family, but a very, I don't know, just a lively family, if that is how you can put it. I don't know. I was just really enjoying it, making it still a little bit wholesome at the same time. But here you can see we have a 5-seater dining table, and I just love this set of table and chairs. It's just so good. I love how you can really like mix and match the different chair textures as well without making it look like forced. Sometimes whenever I try to do mixed dining chairs around the table, it can look a little bit forced and a little bit awkward. But with this one, I don't know. I mean, obviously there are 5 of the same chairs, but all in different swatches. And it just looks very, very realistic in this instance. And that is just something I very much enjoy. I also went crazy with the little scratches and stuff on the wall. I'm obsessed with that item. It's just such a good item. Like the peely wallpaper is just perfect. So I definitely overused that in this house. And then I also placed a lot of books around. For some reason, I feel like werewolves read a lot and they do a lot of research. I don't know why, but that is just something that pops into my mind. It's probably because this pack comes with like a bunch of history and lore and stuff. So I feel like all the vampires are pretty much into that as well. And they love to do a lot of research and stuff. So I did give them a lot of bookcases. They also have a dedicated little office space, which if you wanted to, you could turn that into a 4th bedroom at some point. If this family just keeps growing, which I feel like is something that could happen. I do feel like these people are very family oriented and they really want to have a big family with a bunch of kids. So I can definitely imagine them not being done at 3 kids, like not stopping there. So you could actually turn the office space, which is downstairs, into maybe a 4th bedroom or maybe into the parents' bedroom, and then have all the kids' bedrooms upstairs. That is definitely something you could do. But here you can see I'm working on the kitchen and I'm loving how this kitchen turned out. I use these counters from City Living, as you can see. And I don't know, they're just so perfect for this build. They don't come in the very beautiful recolored swatches that we have for the base game counters, like the base game version of these counters. We got a lot of recolors like a long time ago already with a base game update. And those new swatches are actually perfect. And it's kind of a shame that they didn't update the City Living ones with the same swatches. That would have been so, so perfect. But sadly, we just have the default or like the basic swatches for these countertops. And I still feel like these work very nicely in here in this specific swatch as well. They look quite outdated and just very old and grungy, and that is just perfect. And then I combined them with a base game fridge and stove, also like the cheapest one that we have in the game, the more like grungy, dirty looking one. And then I have a sink from, what's it called? Laundry Day, that standalone little sink. I kind of just merged that into, or in between 2 countertops, and I feel like that looks very, very cute. And then I cluttered up the kitchen as well with a whole bunch of stuff. And then the countertop next to the sink, or like in between the sink and the stove, is free of decorations. So that is the one that your sim will use to actually do some cooking. So not a whole lot of free counter space, but if you want to have your sims like cook together or something, you could also obviously just delete some of the clutter items and just create another like free counter space if you wanted to in your kitchen. In that sense, that shouldn't be hard to do at all. And then for the rest, this kitchen, we do have this little hallway space, I almost want to call it. Like, it's kind of like an open space where at first I wanted to actually place the dining table, but it was a little bit too small for that. So I decided to place the dining table like in the living area where it is right now, basically, and just add a little breakfast table in the kitchen. And then we also have the back door over there as well. And then something I really, really loved using in this house, which gives it a whole bunch of character, I feel like, are those open sliding doors that we got with the industrial loft kit. that one actually comes in a more grungy looking swatch as well, and so do the windows. I feel like the windows would have been really cool and it would have worked really well for this build as well, but we already got like perfect industrial grungy looking windows with the pack, so I just used these ones. I didn't really need another one. But I feel like they would work really nicely on a build like this, or like an abandoned factory in Moonwood Mills, something like that. That would just be so perfect. So yeah, I definitely did use the sliding doors because they come in that more grungy looking swatch with the like fogged up glass and stuff. It's just really, really pretty. So yeah, I placed 2 of those kind of in the center of the house to connect basically all of the rooms. And I just really love the vibe that it gives. And then here you can see I had a lot of fun with platforms. I just made this little sunken down area that is the study. I also placed an easel in there so you could do some skill building in there, and then also a very old little computer, and then a whole bunch of bookcases as well. They kind of have their personal little library, but this space you could basically turn into anything. You could make it into a third or like a 4th bedroom, like I already explained, by just placing a wall there and placing a door, maybe getting rid of the platform, the sunken platform. That is definitely something you could do. You could also turn it into a play area, just place some toys. If you have a bunch of kids that need toys, then you can definitely turn it into a little play area if you wanted to do that. So yeah, it's definitely a very multifunctional little space, I feel like. And then downstairs we have one hall bathroom. I love how this one turned out. It's not pretty, but that is what I love about it. So we have this sink. This is another sink from Laundry Day. I feel like the 2 sinks from that pack go very nicely with builds in this style. So yeah, I used both of them. And then we have an older looking shower tub combo, as you can see. And then also, I think the toilet is actually from Vampires, which is kind of funny that I used that in a Werewolves pack, but I feel like this toilet is so perfect. It looks so old and I just really like it. It's not necessarily very like broken down or grungy looking, but I still really like the vibe of it. So I placed it in this house. I'm fairly certain it's from Vampires, but I'm not 100% sure actually. But here you can see we have the staircase leading up to a tiny little landing. We have this like balcony effect down to the ground floor to make everything look very open and airy and lofty. And I just really love the whole vibe of the place. Like I said, I think this is one of my favorite builds that I have done in a very long time. I just love how it came together. The exterior as well as the interior, like floor plan wise, I just love it so much. But here we have the parents' bedroom. This bedroom is actually quite small, and I did place one of the mattress beds from Eco Lifestyle. Like I said, I feel like that pack goes so nicely with this style of build, like with this specific pack. It's just perfect. So they have a little dresser in here and a mirror and a tiny chair. I actually later on deleted the chair and placed the crib in here, like shuffled some things around. Oh, I just did that right now, as you can see. So I got rid of the chair and placed a little crib in there so that you can really tell that they have a baby on the way, or they're at least planning on having another baby. And then we have a kid's bedroom and a toddler's bedroom. I basically did that because we got a very cutesy little toddler bed as well as a crib, and I really wanted to use those items in this build. And then we also got this single bed that I also really wanted to use. It's also in a bunk bed or like a lofted bed version, so you can very easily make a bunk bed out of it. I think that the bunk bed version is actually slightly different looking, but it works perfectly with this one as well. So you can place this one on the lower bunk and like have a bunk bed situation, which is just so cute in my opinion as well. I just went for the regular version though. I think it is kind of a shame that we didn't get a matching double bed. That would have made the set like super complete and just so perfect. So that is a little bit of a shame, especially since we do not have any beds, like any double beds in base game that really fit this vibe or complement this style. We do have a couple of more grungy looking beds from different packs that work nicely, but not necessarily in the base game. So I feel like it would have been nice if they would have given us a double bed version of the bed as well. That would have just been so perfect. But here you can see we're working on the toddler's bedroom. It's really small, but I feel like it's really cute. So I placed the bed in there. And then this wardrobe from, I think it's from the movie Hangout Stuff pack. I could be wrong there. It's more of like a boho looking wardrobe. And it was just so perfect because it looks kind of DIY in a way and just a little bit broken down. It has some scratches and like missing paint patches and stuff like that. So that was actually perfect. And then here we have another tiny little bathroom upstairs as well. I accidentally placed the toilet off the wall, like away from the wall. As you can see, I didn't notice that until I playtested the build. So I definitely playtested the build and fixed the things that needed to be fixed. I also placed some towels underneath the sink, but that actually made the sink unusable. So I fixed both those things before I uploaded the build to the gallery to make sure that everything works. So we should definitely be good there. Like I said, I playtested the whole thing, so you can just download it off the gallery and you're good to go. I don't even think you have to turn on bb.move objects anymore these days. I still like to remind everyone to just do that though, just in case. So just make sure to activate bb.move objects before you place this build in your game, and then you should definitely be good to go. But here you can see we have a little porch off to the side of the house where I placed a rocking chair. I thought that was just so cute. If only we would have gotten that rocking chair in a more weathered version, then that would have been perfect. But it's still looking really cute. And then I put a knitting basket next to it as well. So we have an extra little skill building item over there as well. And I also put a grill just down from that porch as well. So yeah, a whole bunch of activities. And then in here in the shed, I made that little home gym, as you can see, which I think turned out really cute. And then we have the bar in here as well. And also a woodworking bench. I feel like these Sims are pretty handy and crafty, so I gave them the woodworking bench. So yeah, definitely just a whole bunch of activities and skill building items throughout this house, which I feel like is perfect. And then as you can see, they have a little bar situation back here as well. And then, oh, right, I placed another stereo in here as well, which this one is actually a bit more on the expensive side, but it's still fine. So they can have like their little werewolf hangout parties in this shed with all their friends. I just thought that was really cute. And I also put a mini fridge in there and some bottles of juice and stuff. I don't know, I just feel like this build turned out very cute. So definitely let me know what you think. Are you enjoying the pack so far? And what do you think of everyone's builds? What do you enjoy the most, building or gameplay? And just let me know your opinions of the pack because I'm very interested in that. But with that being said, that was actually all for the speed build. So let's jump right into the game and I'll show you the house in real time. So here we have the house in the game. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit obsessed with this house. I don't mean to toot my own horn here, but I'm just so in love with how it turned out and just the whole vibe of the place. It's a little bit messy, it's a little bit dirty and broken down, and that might just be my favorite thing to build in The Sims 4. So yeah, here we have the front entrance of the lot. Basically, I parked a truck out here. We obviously also have the little telescope, so your Sims can use that. And we also have an outdoor trash can over there as well. We have some planter pots and a pretty gross looking pond, which I just think is so fun. And then over here we have the fireplace. This one is actually functional. I play tested it, so yeah, your Sims can light it and they can dance around it and it's all perfectly functional. And then over here we have the shed. It's very gross looking and it doesn't even have any doors, but yeah, I don't know, I just love it. So in the shed, as you can see, we have the little bar situation, some random cereal boxes. I don't know why those are there, but I love them. And then here we have the little gym area as well as the woodworking bench. And then just over here on this side of the house is where we have the little side porch with the knitting basket and the rocking chair and a grill over here as well. But then here we have the front porch. So the front porch is quite narrow. I did place some planter pots. Like I said, I feel like these Sims are very much into gardening, so they have a bunch of planters around the place. We also have a teeny tiny back porch where I placed a whole bunch of them as well. So that is something very useful for your Sims. But here we have the front door and we enter right into the living / dining area. So we have the dining table over here with this cute mirror and then just a hanging plant in the corner as well. And here we have my Sim. She is watching TV, as you can see, even though the TV is very tiny, but it's definitely usable. So yeah, I just love this living room area. It's just so family friendly looking and quite cozy, and I just really enjoy it. And then off to the side here, we have the bathroom. Pretty grungy and not ideal if you like have to go to the bathroom or take a shower. And we have this large open window with just a sheet covering it. But yeah, that is just how it is for this house. And I love this little area by the sink as well. It's just perfect for this build. And then here you can see I use this sliding door, or archway it is actually, from the industrial loft kit. And the dirty looking glass is just perfect. So yeah, over here we have the spacious kitchen. It's quite cluttered, as you can see, especially this side. I did place a microwave as well as a coffee maker, and then on the other side we have the stove and the sink. And I like how it looks like it's just kind of missing some cabinets or something. It's just looking a little bit awkward, and I really enjoy that. And I also placed a little broom on the wall as well, and then we have a tiny breakfast table over here. And then this corner I just really enjoy, in between these glass doors, and then this perfect little chair with a hanging plant. I don't know. Then through this archway we have the study. So basically they have their own little library over here by the staircase, and then down here is the actual study with a little desk as well as an easel so your Sims can do some painting, and we have a cozy little reading chair over there as well. Then when we go upstairs, I don't know why, but this might be my favorite area of the house. Weirdly, it has something to do with this like balcony effect. I think it just looks very grand and airy, and I just really like it. But yeah, here we have the whole bathroom. Like I said, I fixed it. I deleted the little towels and I properly placed the toilet, so your Sims will be fine. And then over here we have the parents' bedroom. It's very simple because it's very small, and they have a very grungy bed, but that is just how it is. And then over here they have their dresser with some knickknacks on top, and then the bassinet as well. Isn't this just the cutest little item with that sheep, like that stuffed sheep hanging over it, and the moon and the stars? It's just so cute. And then over here we have the toddler's bedroom. This one is fairly neutral in colors, but I really like that. I feel like this wardrobe matches this bed perfectly. And then we have a chair next to the bed so your Sim can actually read like the toddler to sleep, or like read them a book. They have a nightstand, and I love this owl on the wall. It's so cute. And then they have another one of those mural thingies over here on this side as well. They have a potty in the corner and a blarfy and some blocks on the floor. And then next to the toddler's bedroom we have the kids' bedroom. I love the color scheme in here. I love this color of the carpet as well. I hate the carpet, but I love the color. So we have this bed. They have a blarfy in the corner as well, and this little nightlight and this toy. I feel like this throw pillow from the little campers kit actually works perfectly in here as well. And then they have their toy box and a dollhouse and a little dresser over here in the corner. But that is basically it for this house. So this werewolf family home is up on the gallery. It comes in at just over 73,000 simoleons, which is not bad for a house this large with so much like space around it as well. And I feel like that's because the items in the werewolves pack are very well priced. Like they're very cheap, which makes sense. And I just love that. I love how this build did not turn out to be expensive at all. I built it on a 30 by 30 in Moonwood Mill. So if you want to place it in your game, then that is where it goes. But that is actually going to do it for this video. So I really hope that you enjoyed this build. You can obviously go ahead and download it off the gallery like I just showed you. My username on the gallery is Simmary Sims. You can also follow me on Twitter and on Instagram if you'd like. My username on there is Simmary Sims as well. If you're not subscribed to my channel already, feel free to do so. And if you want to be notified of every single time I upload a video, just click that little bell icon and you should be fine. I also live stream over on Twitch a few times a week, so if you're interested in that, just go ahead and give me a follow over on twitch.tv/Simmary Sims. So I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye!